The world's largest XRP reserve is in the works. A Nasdaq-listed Singapore company has announced plans to raise a staggering $500 million for an XRP treasury. While Ripple holds the crown in its own league, this move solidifies a massive win for the XRP ecosystem. The momentum around XRP lately has been nothing short of electrifying. With headline after headline of positive developments, it's clear the ecosystem is thriving and unstoppable. At this point, the question isn't whether XRP will succeed. It already has. XRP is cementing its place as one of the early champions in the crypto space, and the excitement is just getting started. It's going to take some time for the market to fully recognize XRP's true value, especially since its price has been held back for years. Even now, I'm convinced it's still undervalued. If that lawsuit from the SEC hadn't happened, I have no doubt XRP would be in a totally different league today. Higher prices, more adoption, and way more activity across the board. Developers would be building more, investments would have skyrocketed, and businesses and individuals everywhere would be leveraging XRP to its full potential. The case stifled progress, no question. But here's the silver lining. On a level playing field, XRP absolutely dominates. Now that XRP is unshackled and the United States has embraced crypto, it's clear just how dominant XRP has become. It's already won. And as the crypto market grows, you know what that means. XRP is poised to dominate even more. Sure, crypto is volatile. XRP, like any other asset, will face its share of ups and downs, but zoom out over the next few years, heck, even decades, XRP's market value is set to skyrocket beyond anything we see now. What seems big today will feel like pocket change compared to its future potential. Feel like you missed out? Think again. You're still early to the game. Maybe you wish you'd snagged it at 49 cents, but even now, you're on the brink of something huge. If you're just jumping in, there's still plenty of room to grow. You won't believe this. I was hoping to snag it at half a penny, but ended up grabbing it at an average of 25 cents. The crazy part, it just keeps climbing, and the price is only getting higher and higher. Now, here's the exciting part I've got to share with you. This is absolutely mind-blowing in my book. It's the kind of thing I always dreamed would happen, the stuff of big hopes and wild imagination. And guess what? It's happening. This is real. Just to make it clear up front, I don't have a financial background. This isn't financial advice, and you definitely shouldn't make any buying or selling decisions based on what I say here. Now let's dive in. The first time I heard about a publicly traded company buying XRP as a Treasury reserve asset was back in December. It was a big moment. But here's the thing. I can't quite remember the name of that company. And well, I didn't do a quick Google search before this video to refresh my memory. It might have been WePower or something along those lines if my memory isn't playing tricks. A few others popped up too, especially in early 2025. One was a Canadian firm, publicly traded, that began using XRP as a Treasury reserve asset. Then came May and things really heated up. 4 publicly traded companies jumped on board that month alone, each launching their own XRP initiatives. Here's something pretty exciting about these 4 companies. Let me quickly recap because it's definitely worth knowing. All 4 aren't just rolling out an XRP treasury this May. They're also leveraging XRP in unique and impactful ways. Let me start with the first one. CoinDesk headline says it all. Florida pharma firm will use XRP for real-time payments in $50 million financing deal. That's right. They're not just talking the talk. They're actually using XRP to streamline payment flows in real time. XRP is making waves as a true treasury asset. Here's the proof. A Florida-based pharmaceutical distributor is now leveraging XRP as both a treasury and payment asset, anchoring a $50 million financing deal. Talk about stepping into the spotlight. Yeah, why not? XRP was built for payments. It's what it does best. It's efficient, fast, and reliable, filling the gaps where Bitcoin falls short. Speaking of Bitcoin, it's like the nostalgic pet rock of crypto. Sure, we appreciate it for being the pioneer, but let's face it, it's also the least advanced. Bitcoin may have been Satoshi Nakamoto's vision for a peer-to-peer cash system, but let's face it, Bitcoin isn't that. XRP, on the other hand, is exactly that. It's a peer-to-peer cash system that just works seamlessly, reliably, effortlessly. There's always been a need for something like XRP, and it's crushing it, not just because of its cutting-edge tech, but because it's been in the game for so long. While it wasn't the very first mover, it was close, and that staying power matters. XRP has been battle tested for over a decade. Hackers have tried and failed time and time again because cryptography works. And after all these years, XRP stands solid, proving itself over and over again. You can't just program trust into a brand new blockchain. When a new chain launches, you need time to see if it actually works. No hacks, no glitches, right? You also want to ensure it's not a rug pull or something shady. That's where XRP shines. It's been around, stood the test of time, and just works. That's why it's so clear on a level playing field. This was always bound to happen. Of course it was. Oh, and let's not forget there were 3 more just in May alone. Check this out. On May 30th, something incredible happened. In just 24 hours, 3 companies announced plans to buy and hold XRP as a strategic reserve. That's right, 3 publicly traded companies made the bold move to not only start XRP reserves, but also actively use them. Wild, right? One of these trailblazers is Alt Capital Group, a 10 million fund launching a new lending initiative. Another is Vivo Power, a company I've mentioned before. They're closely linked with Saudi royalty. Turns out Saudi royalty has been holding XRP for nearly a decade. Why? Because let's face it, XRP just works. It really does. They kept it under wraps until recently, though. Then there's Webis International, a 300 million fund, quietly integrating XRP into their payment flows too. Before this, it was the biggest fund outside of Ripple using XRP. Here's a gem straight from the cryptosphere. Yet another public company is doubling down on XRP with a massive 500 million treasury plan. And honestly, it's music to my ears. You just love to see it. Trident, a publicly traded tech services firm, announced on Thursday its ambitious plan to raise up to 500 million to develop an XRP treasury. Based in Singapore and listed on the NASDAQ as TDTH, Trident specializes in blockchain-based identity solutions. Oh, and they also brought in Chain Securities LLC as a strategic advisor, because why not? Our commitment to transparency, robust governance, and strategic vision drives every choice we make, said Trident's founder, chairman, and CEO, Soon-Hwa Lim. Apologies if I butchered the name, but hey, this sentiment stands. He added, "We view digital assets as game changers in the evolution of global finance. If your name were John, I'd finally have a name I could nail every time." Like John, I'd hit it out of the park. Hey John, what's up? Easy, right? This new initiative highlights our belief in the game-changing power of blockchain for capital allocation and seamless cross-border value transfer, said the CEO. With this move, Trident sets out to prove how public companies can responsibly embrace decentralized finance's potential. That's straight from the CEO himself. Now, let's be real. He wouldn't be making this leap without good reason. And let's not ignore the context. XRP has already made waves, skyrocketing from just 49 cents 6 months ago to over $2. They're doing this because they believe XRP is destined to be worth significantly more in the future, despite the inevitable ups, downs, and wild market swings. They know the risks. These aren't clueless people. They get it, but they're convinced they'll come out on top if they just hold on long enough. That's the key. Patience and conviction. I always say, for those who refuse to sell no matter what, the ones who stay stubbornly committed, success will come if you've chosen wisely. And let's face it, XRP is already proving itself as a winner. We made the right call here, folks. XRP is a clear winner. It couldn't be more obvious. The groundwork has already been laid. The only reason it's undervalued right now is because most people haven't caught on yet. For years, it was held back, artificially suppressed. But now it's catching up fast. And make no mistake, folks, it's coming. Speaking of exciting developments, the firm's XRP Treasury rollout is slated for the second half of 2025. It'll involve a mix of creative capital raising strategies like equity issuance and structured financial instruments. How cool is that? Honestly, the answer is very. And this is just the beginning. Expect a lot more of this kind of innovation in the future. It also makes me wonder how many other companies are pulling off moves like this under the radar. These are publicly traded companies after all, so it's no surprise we're hearing about it through press releases. How many private companies are out there quietly making moves, keeping their strategies under wraps? You have to wonder how many of them are working on game-changing projects like this. There's no doubt some are. Let me tell you, it's fascinating. And if you didn't catch my video yesterday, let me bring this back into focus. XRP's complete and undeniable dominance in the game. Here's the scoop. Somebody, I can't remember exactly who now, had inside info from one of the big 5 banks. You know the names: Bank of America, Citigroup, JP Morgan, those powerhouses. Maybe US Bank? I'm blanking on the 5th one, but you get the idea. Anyway, they didn't spill which specific bank it was, keeping things hush-hush, but this massive bank mentioned they're laser focused on what they called the Big 4, in the crypto world: Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and Solana. Yep, the big four. And XRP is sitting proudly among them. And then there's the rest, everything else. One of the largest banks on the planet has decided XRP won. This isn't just some wild theory, folks. It's already happened. I'll keep shouting it from every rooftop, every video until everyone sees it. We won. It's done. And it's not just us in the XRP community tinkering with so-called magic internet money. No, this is real. It worked. Businesses are using it right now, and this is just the beginning. Real-world asset tokenization is taking off, and you can bet there's a lot more to come. And that's not even mentioning Ripple leveraging XRP as a bridge currency, as a crystal clear, especially with RLUSD in the mix. Oh, and let's not forget, USDC just launched on the XRP ledger the other day. Seriously, this is a complete 180 from the last half decade of dealing with all the SEC nonsense. Whatever that was, this is the polar opposite on steroids. Honestly, it's an incredible time to be part of XRP. The best time. These are the glory days, no question. Sure, we can't scoop up XRP for half a penny anymore. I missed that window too since I joined later. But honestly, that's okay. We're at a stage now where XRP is still an amazing investment, but with way less risk than the early adopters faced back in 2013. It's all a trade-off, isn't it? But here's the thing. I don't lose sleep over whether this goes to zero or stress about the big picture. I believe in this deeply. Honestly, I almost want to say I know, even if that's a bold claim. Sure, life's unpredictable, but something about XRP just feels obvious to me. I can't shake the feeling that it's destined to be worth so much more than it is now. The key? Patience. All we have to do is wait. That's why I'm confident. If I sit back and do nothing, time will do the work. And really, isn't that true for all of us? If we hold on and trust the process, we win. It's wild to think this is real life. After everything we've been through, this moment feels so earned, so satisfying. It's vindication, plain and simple. Deep down, I always knew we were on the right track. If you've been here for a few years, I bet you knew it too. And here we are now, stronger, smarter, and better for it. Oh, and just a reminder, I'm not a financial advisor. Don't buy or sell anything based on what I say. Seriously, that would be a terrible idea.